So, hey everyone! I recorded a totally different video about 10 minutes ago, and, well, yeah, about 10 minutes ago. And, I completely forgot that today is Friday the 13th. And so, how can I not make a video about Friday the 13th, especially with a blog called Paranormal Archaeology, which I will also link in the show notes below. Yeah, so today is Friday the 13th. It's the last Friday the 13th of the year, which I saw that comic when I was searching for, like, I wanted to see if there was any archaeology on Friday the 13th, and that popped up and it's like, this is the last Friday the 13th of the year. And I'm just like, yes, because it's December and 13 only happens once in a month, in the last month of the year. Like, were we expecting there to be another one? Anyway, I just thought it was a funny title. So, my search for archaeology of Friday the 13th is, unfortunately, came up empty. But the reason for that is because the origins of why Friday the 13th is such an unlucky day is kind of, we can't really piece together why 13 and Friday are both so unlucky. Apparently the Greeks and the Romans viewed Fridays as being unlucky days in general. I personally think they're fantastic because it's the start of the weekend and I let myself relax on the weekend. But apparently the Greeks and Romans didn't. I don't know. They didn't really have unions, so I can see why they didn't have a weekend. I don't know. Anyway. The number 13 being unlucky has a lot of origin stories, actually, up to and including the Templars, because why not? But the two stories that I found that trace it back the furthest, one of them traces it back to the biblical times where the Last Supper was occurring in the Bible. I'm not saying the Last Supper actually occurred, but in the Bible, apparently at the Last Supper, there were 13 people present, not counting the servants, apparently. So, you know, there were the 12 apostles, and then there was lucky number 13, Jesus, but somehow Jesus wasn't the unlucky one. It was Judas, and I don't know, that whole story is just bizarre to me, because if you read that, like I read it, Judas was totally set up, but anyway, that is another story for another time. Maybe I'll do it for Easter. But it's the other 13 connection is very similar, and as somebody traced it back to, there's a particular story in the Norse sagas where the 12 main gods are having a dinner party and Loki shows up, which makes him unlucky number 13. And he proceeds to basically crash the party. Now, the problem with this particular story is that it has very heavy Christian overtones in it. The authenticity of it is kind of questionable. I mean, it is as old as it was written down as, but, like, is it authentic to the oral tradition of the time? Is it true to the, you know, personalities of the gods depicted? Also, there were more than 12 gods, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to question the authenticity of it, but there's, you know, it gives us the 13. Personally, this is my opinion on the matter. I think 13 is an unlucky number because, again, the dinner party. If you're throwing a party, you want an even number of people because you're probably inviting couples and potential couples. And so if you have an odd number of people, you're probably going to have an odd man out who doesn't get to do everything else, you know? Nobody wants to be the 13th wheel. Anyway. So, I think you've got the unlucky number 13, and then you've also got the idea that Friday, for whatever reason, is an unlucky day, and so you combine the two, which again is variable depending on what calendar you're using at the time. Apparently our current calendar has an inordinate number of Friday the 13th, so like compared to 13 falling on any other day of the week. It like more likely statistically falls more often on Friday than any other day. I don't know, I thought that was kind of interesting. Not a statistician, don't know much about the calendar. Don't come for me on that one. But anyway, I do know that we have had like several different variations of calendars throughout the years and cultures, and that, you know, we as a global we have had like 2 major ones in our past, and the one that we have currently, you know, is the one we have currently, the one everyone knows. It's not the Gregorian. I don't know. Told you I don't know anything about calendars. Anyway, I think you take an unlucky day of the week and you then take an unlucky number and you combine the two and you have a big massive unlucky sandwich, and that is why Friday the 13th is such an unlucky day. It's not because of anything in particular, it's just you have these 2 unlucky things and they got combined together periodically throughout the year, and so that day has become infamously more unlucky than any particular Friday or any particular 13 during the month. So basically, why Friday the 13th is so unlucky is because of Jason Voorhees. And so we're going to transition. I have nothing archaeological to say about Friday the 13th. And as a movie geek, which I don't think I really earn that title very much. I watch a lot of movies, but I'm not like in it. But I'm also not a slasher movie fan, though I am a Freddy Krueger fan, but that's because that is what I grew up with. So I like Freddy, and I like Freddy movies more than I like Jason movies. Also, I think there's more of them from what I'm finding out. I don't know a lot about the Friday the 13th franchise. I don't know a lot about the history of the movies. I don't know a lot about Jason Voorhees. I know that the mask that he wears is supposedly a cast of William Shatner's face, and I only know that because I think it's a trivia question in like Trivial Pursuit somewhere. Basically, I don't know anything about these movies. So I found a 15-minute timeline that will explain Friday the 13th to me, timeline-wise. Now, I do know that the first movie came out in 1980, and I believe it was titled Friday the 13th. And so I was looking for a really good breakdown of just, you know, the Friday the 13th franchise. I was really hoping Foundflix would have one. Apparently they don't. I like that guy. I think he's funny. But I did find 2. One was a half-hour long and actually focused more on Jason Voorhees, the character, and the development of the character throughout all of the movie arcs. I think it's interesting. I'm gonna go back and watch it, not the video we're doing. The other video I found is 15 minutes, and it looks like it is just addressing the timeline of the movies. So it's not focusing on Voorhees, it's focusing on the movies in general. Now, there's a neat disclaimer, and I only got as far in this movie as the disclaimer that this is only one possible timeline, because apparently the movies are vague enough that it's not possible to put all of the movies together in a definitive timeline. So, with all that said, I will probably be heavily editing this because, you know, this is only supposed to be like 10-15 minutes, not like 30 whole damn minutes, and I've already been rambling for at least 8. But anyway, I'm gonna film the whole thing and I'll chop it up later. So anyway, let's, first thing I do is I always watch these things in time and a half. So let's just speed that bad boy up. All right. So this is the Friday the 13th timeline. It is put out by a YouTube channel that was called Friday the 13th Network. Everything will be linked because I'm not that kind of person. So anyway, into the muck we go. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, Friday the 13th Network. I'm impressed that you have an entire YouTube channel based on this. That's so dumb. Dun, 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 dun. Part 2, Part 3. Oh, maybe there are more movies than I thought there were. I remember when Jason Lives came out, everybody was super excited. Oh yeah, New Blood. Jason Takes Manhattan? Really? Isn't there a Jason in Space? Is that Jason X? Jason in Space? Oh, Freddy vs. Jason was so good. My favorite part in Freddy vs. Jason, because that movie was nothing but fan service, and God bless everyone who created that movie. My favorite part was when Jason rips off Freddy's arm and stabs him with his own dismembered arm. God, so good. Anyway, now I want to go rewatch that movie. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so the following is a possible timeline for the Friday the 13th series. No timeline for the series will ever be 100%, as there are many contradictions in the films and the spin-off media. We are not even going into the spin-off media. Okay, in real life, June 13, 1979 was a Wednesday, so it wasn't even Friday the 13th. Effort has been made to place the main events of each film on an appropriate Friday the 13th. I guess that's the shtick. This stuff always happens on a Friday the 13th. Okay, so 1935, Camp Crystal Lake is established. I remember Camp Crystal Lake. What was it about movies where people went to camp and got murdered? Because there's like Camp Sleepaway, I believe it's called, is possibly the worst slasher movie ever made, and I highly recommend it to everyone to go watch because it is so terrible it's good. But it's the same thing. All right, June 13th, 1946, Jason Voorhees is born. 1957, Jason drowns in the camp. No body is found. They were making love while the young boy drowned. I know there's this whole idea that horror movies, particularly slasher movies, are moral stories. And because you can't be a young person having relations in a horror movie because you'll die. Like, I think it's like The Virgin Always Lives. I don't know. Scream really breaks that down. And so does this movie, what was it? Interview with a Serial Murderer? I'll have to find that. That was actually pretty clever too. But anyway. Bye, Jason. 1957. 2 counselors are murdered at Camp Crystal Lake. Wait, timeline-wise, wouldn't that make... That's only like 3 years after Jason died. Right? The killer is never apprehended. The camp is shut down. Condemned! 1961. Diana Voorhees is born. This is much more modern. Attempts are made to reopen Camp Crystal Lake in the years that follow, but are soon halted by mysterious fires and bad water. Bad water? Wait. It's called a death curse. Oh my god, that's amazing. Steve Christie begins to renovate the abandoned camp, determined to reopen it. Why? Oh yeah. Sexy 80s mustache. Friday the 13th. Ba, ba, ba. That's what I thought. It was his mom. Maybe I could... Oh, really? What is happening?
You never paid any attention. Look what you did to him.
Wait, what? Why did I never watch this movie? Wow. Da, da, da. Bye, Pamela. Why was she on the lake? What did Jason become like? He's still there. I miss my calling. Bodies everywhere. What? Well, at least he took the tea off. So, okay, so his mother... Okay, so his mother was the original murderer. And then at the end of the movie, Voorhees jumps out of the lake, Jason jumps out of the lake and tries to drown the person that decapitated his mother, and then what, a year, not even a year later, he puts his mother's gross bloated head in the girl's refrigerator. Okay, so now actually Jason is actually killing everyone. So he wasn't dead? Because enough people didn't die at this place, we should surely open another camp. Rifle range? That man dies in every movie he's in. Ginny Field is the only known survivor. Get him, Ginny! Wait, did he not have a mask then? I'm so confused. When did he get the mask? Am I mixing up my slashers? Jason kills again. That hair. Chris Higgins and 6 of her friends go into the Higgins Haven for the weekend. Gee, I wonder if she's related. Higgins Haven. Oh yeah, they're all a bunch of hippies. So, okay, here's my question. Are all of these locations actually Crystal Lake and they're just being renamed over the years and that's kind of the shtick? I don't know. One by one, the group of friends is murdered, as well as 3 members of a motorcycle gang. Wow. Oh, he's got his mask now. I am getting my serial murderers mixed up. That is a shame. Okay, so the Halloween movies are not the Friday the 13th movies. What? What? How is he? I mean, true evil never dies. I think that's actually a tagline from one of these. The bodies of Jason and the 10 victims at Higgins Heaven are transported to Wessex County Morgue. Wait, what? Why was... what? I am so confused. Why was that dude asleep in the morgue? I'm very confused. A group of 6 vacationing teenagers arrive at the cottage next door to that of the Jarvis family. This is not as informative as I thought it was going to be. Well, you're all gonna die anyway because that was annoying. Oh no! Why? He was just enjoying his banana! Jason kills the teenagers as well as Miss Jarvis, Bob Dyer, and a set of teenage twins. It's very important that the teenage twins were somehow separate from the other teenagers. What is even happening? Ah, see, now we're getting more stupid with our deaths. What? Trish and Tommy Jarvis are the only survivors. But why is he... Oh no, you knocked his mask off. That must be the source of his power. Why does he have no hair? Oh man, tell me this little bald kid becomes the next Jason. Yeah, Tommy, get it! Oh. Okay, so... Oh, there's multiples. Alright, well we're just gonna stop with the one because I'm thoroughly confused at this point. So, Halloween is the one that I'm getting this mixed up with, aren't I? Yes. So, there's that. Well, that was entertaining and maybe not as informative as I was hoping, but there you go. Friday the 13th. We don't really know why Friday the 13th is an unlucky day other than just blame it on the Greeks and the Romans, because we blame everything on the Greeks and the Romans, and I still have no idea what's going on in the Friday the 13th movies. Anyway, I hope this was as entertaining to you as it was entertaining to me, and happy Friday the 13th, everybody. I will see you tomorrow.